It deals with the power of storytelling and the power of oral traditions. And I feel like as Americans, and particularly my culture as an African American, we have a deep, rich tradition of telling stories. And every generation, we take those stories and that tradition and we change it and make it new and current and present and then pass it on. And that's kind of what flow is about. It uses the medium of hip hop rhymes and beats, which is kind of like my generation's song, but it builds on the blues and soul and jazz and all the music forms that came before it. And it's about how to use these stories in our culture and in our communities, not just as entertainment, but it's that too. Not just as humor, but it's that too, but also as a means of guiding us towards not just survival, but to thrive and to live prosperously, spiritually. And so that's what it's about. It's about these 7 storytellers in an urban neighborhood. And it's kind of like an urban fairy tale, fantasy fairy tale. And as they tell these different stories throughout the community, this storm descends on the neighborhood. And the storm takes the form of black on black crime, drugs, environmental racism, alcoholism, those kind of vices. And one by one, each storyteller starts to pass. It starts to die. And so the question is, will these stories be passed on to the next generation? Or will they be left behind in the dust of history? And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm very, very excited that this show is coming to Chicago. Chicago has obviously an amazingly rich history, particularly talking about the South Side, you know, and you got to be careful because sometimes I'm here, you know, I'm like, wow, the South Side of Chicago, Jack Johnson was here. And people be like, yeah, that was a long time ago, you know. But I get excited about the rich cultural history that's here and the storytelling tradition that's here. And even though Flow is based on things that happened in my neighborhood where I grew up, I wrote it in a way that I feel like it can relate and connect to all communities in America. You know, as specific as it is, I tried to make it universal. So there's a character named Preacher Man who's kind of like a young guy who kind of, you know, drops knowledge. And one of the actors that's playing that role was like, I know someone in my neighborhood here in Chicago that's just like that. So he's taking on his own sense, his own neighborhood sense and rhythms here in Chicago and applying it to this story and making it specific. You know, the kind of way you might take August Wilson or Shakespeare or anything like that and you take it and you make it your own. That's what I hope that people will do here. And I hope people do enjoy it.